Coming to you from Kenya, we're here for the Great Migration, but we're starting this journey actually at Sir Richard Branson's property, the Mahali Mzuri, inside of the Maasai Conservancy. Super excited to be here. This is rated the #1 hotel in the world in 2021. We've been here for maybe 24 hours and it is absolutely not disappointed. You're going to see all the highlights and footage of us seeing from feet away, meters away, pride of lion. We're going to see tons of giraffes and elephants and pretty much everything else you can imagine. But I want to show you around the hotel because I found it crazy that there weren't a bunch of influencers or YouTube videos showing how beautiful this place is or how amazing the experience is. So come with me, let's go check it out. So if you have been living under the rock and you don't know who Sir Richard Branson is, he is the guy behind Virgin Records, Virgin Atlantic, Virgin Galactic, so the Virgin Airlines, the spaceships, and then also the obviously record company. That was where he started. He was the one that created this, and there's some business lessons behind this, but it's just really cool because he, in my opinion, does a really good job, and not just ecotourism, but really pouring back in the community where he builds these at. He only has, I think, 8 or 9 properties around the world. And one of them is Necker Island, where he spends a lot of his time. He obviously visits these as well. But yeah, so we'll talk a little bit more about that and how the community has directly benefited. But just something cool I just wanted to mention. At this point in the video, you either have or will see highlights of basically every corner of this place. But I just walked into the main entrance, coming down to the fire pit down here. Didn't get to enjoy it last time, unfortunately. It started raining as soon as we got back, but we got to see a bunch of lions, so totally did not matter at all to me. Here I am. Like, look at this view. How incredible is this? And yeah, this is definitely one of the nicest things I've ever done. I've ever spent money on, for sure. And what is unique about the Conservancy that I've learned this morning is between what most people do, which is the national park, which we're going to next. So we actually head off there tomorrow after spending 2 nights here. In the national park, you basically have to stay on the trail, right? So you can't just see something from a distance, see, oh, there's a bunch of zebras, or maybe you're pretty sure there's lions hiding in the bush somewhere nearby. You can't go off the trail. The park rangers will, I don't know what they'll do. They'll probably like fine you or maybe arrest you for being an idiot, right? But basically your guide is going to keep you on the trail through the whole experience, which is still going to be sick, right? Like, we're going to be there for the migration, which is why most people travel to the Maasai Mara National Park, because you actually see herds, masses of herds migrating through the park, which is why people make this big investment in this big trip, right? But you won't get those same experiences that you're going to find here, because the last 24 hours, we've gone on 2 game drives so far. We're about to start our 3rd here in a few hours. We have gone up to the point where the animals, I saw a pride of lion literally walk maybe 6 to 7 feet away from the car, like right by us. Okay, it was absolutely nuts and incredible. And we basically just did circles around those lions for probably 30 to 45 minutes today, and same thing yesterday. It was insane. Our guide even said this typically doesn't happen. This is not common at all. Usually you'll see the lions and they're hiding in the bush and they don't want to come out, or it just really just depends on if they're hungry, if how open they are to being around you as a person, right? And what was super wild too in the Conservancy, there's only a handful of hotels here or resorts. So we at no point was there more than 4 or 5 cars. Okay. And the cool thing is this is like the peak season for this part of Africa because of the migration. A lot of people probably come here, even though they don't have the migration in the Conservancy here. We are super close to the national park in Maasai Mara. So a lot of people will actually do the day trip from here to there, and they'll spend the whole day in the national park. We're staying there for 3 nights at the JW Marriott Maasai Mara, which is going to be sick too. And yeah, so the point I'm trying to make is you can come here all year and you'll see the big 5, right? The elephants, the cheetah, I can't remember all 5 of them, but the lions, the main animals that you're going to want to see, specifically the lions. Like most people, the big draw are the lions, right? So you are basically guaranteed to see them. Not literally guaranteed. I don't think it's in fine print anywhere, but it's pretty hard not to see them. Okay, so that's the cool thing, right? You see the animals that you probably are coming here to see. You won't see the herd in the migration, but that's why you can take that day trip or day trips if you want to spend a few extra days here, or you go to another hotel if you want to split the time like we are, right? Now, what is unique about this is not just the big animals, the big 5, the ones that you're going to want to see, but more importantly, there's only so many hotels, and only those hotels will have cars out. So I think at any given time, like this, remember, this is peak season, right? You could do this all year here. You'll see the animals, but what's unique about this is this is their peak, and there was 4, maybe 5 cars max. I think today it was like 2 or 3 cars, and there was 4 lines walking in just like in between bush for probably 30 to 45 minutes. Similar situation last night, 4 or 5 cars instead of 3 or 4 cars. And it was absolutely sick. Like, it was the coolest thing. We didn't see them eating or hunting or killing, but just seeing them there in front of us, casually walking by, was absolutely insane. So those are the 2 biggest perks just right off the bat of just why you want to stay in the Conservancy over the national park, is because of the limitation on the actual number of cars or people that will be around. But then also you will see the big 5. Okay, it's practically guaranteed. Now, another perk is the service is next level specifically here. This is the best service, or some of the best service I've had on the planet. The only thing comparable has been staying at some high-end places I have in Mexico. Okay, I'm a little biased towards Mexico. If you've seen my videos, you've seen me talk about Mexico plenty of times and anything travel related. I'm a huge fan of Xcad, for example. We'll probably do another video there. I've never done a full video there. I probably should do one because it is sick, and I've been twice. We're already planning our 3rd trip back to, this time we're gonna go to Xcad, Casa de la Playa, which is their top one, right? So when you're here, not only is service top notch, I think there's like a crazy ratio of team members they have to guests. There's only, I think, 12 of the cabins in total, or the tents, I guess if you want to call them that. You could see them down there in the distance. I'll probably throw up some B-roll footage showing ours. It's absolutely sick. It's like a house, right? And even has AC, has heat. The weather is a little bit nutty here. The temperature can swing a lot, so having that is cool. But something to mention too is not just the ratio of the staff. It's great to have more team members to help you, right? But the level of service is incredible. There's 12 cabins or tents, which means there's a max of 24 guests. Okay, you can't bring kids. I think they have to be 8 years old or older, but 24 guests max. Like right now, we've been here for 24 hours. I think I've seen 5 other people, and I'm pretty sure 2 of those people just left this morning, right? They are fully booked as far as I know. We couldn't book another night here, unfortunately. Only get 2 nights, but I did book this 4 weeks ago, so that's probably why. So service next level, food's been incredible. All you can eat and drink. It is not cheap. This is the priciest thing I've ever spent money on, but also something that I value when it comes to my values, my beliefs. I believe experiences and creating memories is the best ROI you can have if you're not talking like investments into like stocks and bonds and stuff like that. But if we're just comparing hey, do I go buy a Rolex or a Ferrari or a Range Rover or something like that? I've bought a Range Rover before, and I'm telling you this from firsthand experience. This is the highest ROI when it comes to life, right? Aside from your actual investments, your appreciating assets, right? So who should do this? Well, if you can, this is not the cheapest, it's probably the most expensive one in the Conservancy, or at least close to it. My recommendation is, if you're thinking about doing safari, you should come during this time, right? And you should start in the Conservancy. There are other places here, there's not a lot, but there are a few, probably at lower costs, if budget is an issue. If not, you absolutely need to stay here. This place is unreal. Ambiance, food, drinks, they got top shelf liquors, amazing food. The service is incredible. Like, your experience will be nuts. You land, as soon as you land, your driver's there waiting for you. He greets you, and then he proceeds to set up a little mini table on top of the car, and he pours you a glass of champagne to welcome you. Then he has Coke and orange juice if you prefer not to have alcohol, right? So you get welcome with a welcome drink. It's like these little things, right? That extra premium price per night, there's only so much more it can give you, right? Especially whenever everything is already all-inclusive and maxed out as far as itinerary and activities. But just those little touches really goes a long way. And that comes back to, I'm guessing, where the Richard Branson piece comes into this. Another thing too I want to mention, we've been spending a lot of time, obviously, with our guide, who has been a badass. His name is Newton, by the way. I suggest you request him if you do plan to book it here, which you should. He is a top G. This guy has been here. This is literally the only place he's ever worked. He's from the Maasai. They hire, I think, 80%, I read online, 80% of the people working for this property. I'm assuming that is including people outside of Kenya, if there are any. 80% are from the Maasai. They're from here, right? It might be 100% Kenyan. I don't know. But what I can tell you is what it says online, 80% are from the Maasai. And I talked with him and asked him, and I said, hey, how does it compare? What are some other comparisons when it comes to the Conservancy versus the national park, where the Maasai Mara and the rest of the hotels are? Well, what he mentioned was the money that the national park charges the hotels, or is generated in fees and all this other stuff. That money goes to the Kenyan government, and you can probably guess where that goes, right? The money that is generated here, for example, Sir Richard doesn't own this property. He leases it, and he built a hotel on it. So he owns a hotel, but he leases the property from the local community. That lease rental agreement obviously goes back into the community and to the owners here. He hires basically only locals, so there's job opportunities. He pays well above average salaries, and there are other like fees and surcharges and stuff, and all that money is being put back in the community. So the money, more or less where the money is going or staying, right? As opposed to the Kenyan government taking some $200 a day fee per person, which is what it is. We will be paying that the next 3 nights, so $400 a day for 2 of us, just to be there. That's not including what we're paying for the hotel. Got a sweet deal of points. Oh, not sweet, but I paid with points, so I didn't have to pay out of pocket for that. Everything else, I've had to pay cash, including this place. I think you can book this place with points, but I didn't really see any good deals. And like through the Amex and Chase Travel Port, it would have been an insane amount of points, so I just paid cash. I splurged a lot on this. This is probably the biggest travel investment I've ever made in my life, but no regrets. Like, the memories have been sick. The experience has been incredible. Check out some of the stuff, though. Like, just do a quick ChatGPT or Google search at what Richard Branson is doing for the local community here. I'm not going to list everything, but it is cool because the business lesson here is you can win both ways. You can make a profit, create an amazing product or experience, and also help other people win too, right? We did a village tour today, which you'll probably see some footage of with this. And I talked to them about it too. It was super cool. I don't know if I mentioned this I think I did mention this in another video that is included here. But the village leader or elder, I don't know what they call him technically, he was telling me that his father, he was probably in his, I'm guessing 50s or 60s, his father who had 40 kids, by the way, which is insane. He was not wealthy, but like by their measurement, which is by how much cattle you have, or how much, like things like that, right? Because they would live off of cow, the milk, the blood, and the meat. He explained it to me, and he was telling me that his father didn't even have a school, so he didn't even go to school. He didn't tell me what his situation was growing up. I'm guessing it was not much better. But now his 4 children, he doesn't have 40, he has 4. His 4 children, because of the tourism and the money it's generated for the local community here, his 4 children are either going to school or finishing university. And like that's his life, his whole lineage changed in a heartbeat. It flipped because of, you know, the tourism and the money that's come into this region, right? So I think this stuff is cool. Obviously, Richard is famous and notorious for building badass brands and creating amazing experiences, and he's a marketing genius. I mean, the guy built like an airline, right? Like that's who's done that. There's only a few people that have done that. Some guy did it recently, but he did it when it was probably much harder. Not saying building airlines easy. I wouldn't know. I've never built one. But point is, you need to come here. This place is awesome. The experience is incredible. It's not the cheapest, for sure. You can probably find cheaper options. I get it if budget is the limitation, but find a way to come here, and ideally here to the Mahali, Missouri if you can. It is absolutely insane. I hope this video gave you the motivation to go travel, because I was writing my group last night that a lot of people in my industry, they make good money or they get a lot of credit card points. And I pointed out it's cool to be able to buy stuff and financially take care of your family, set yourself up for a great life financially. Money's not everything, but it takes care of all the problems not having money creates. But don't forget to create memories and experiences like this. This place is awesome. You'll see a bunch of footage of this. I hear people playing in the outdoor, I believe it's a heated pool. It was pretty warm when I put my hand in yesterday when it was not sunny. So yeah, check it out. If you ever thought about doing a safari, do not skip out. This place is sick. You'll see a bunch of B-roll somewhere. I'm not the editor, but I'm just a guy talking to the camera. It is gorgeous. It is beautiful. By the way, if you enjoyed this video, please do share it. I have nothing to tell you. I genuinely just enjoy sharing my life and my travel experiences. This is a passion for me. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment below. But yeah, seriously consider this place. It is badass. Can't recommend enough. Guys, one thing I forgot to mention is that you also get private drives. Here's our awesome guide. What's going on?
Play Newton.
And yeah, book with Newton when you're here.
Yeah.
Okay, don't forget.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been amazing. I mean, I think sometimes they might put you with other people, but like every group I've seen has had their own basically like a private drive. It's been sick. I don't think you get this at a lot of camps.